Our next guest joins us here. We have Chairman of the Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority and Minister of State, Bilal Bin Saqib. Hello, Bilal.
Hi, very nice to be here.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to have you here. Since the last time we spoke, it seems like you've got a little bit of a promotion. You are now chairman of the regulator in Pakistan and Minister of State. Let's just start here. Talk to us about the state of crypto in Pakistan. What kind of progress have you made since you've taken this position?
So I think the biggest progress is that for the past decade, there was a lot of confusion. There was nothing, people didn't really know it's legal, illegal, etc. But now at least we have a mandate. So we've set up Pakistan's first independent digital assets regulatory authority that has been given the mandate to incubate and accelerate crypto in Pakistan, all the licensing, all the education. And I think that that's sort of our biggest achievement, to turn confusion into clarity and have like one window operation so things can move.
How hungry is the region for crypto in terms of the general public?
See, without any regulatory framework, we now are the third biggest market when it comes to crypto adoption. And this is without taking any sort of measures to promote crypto. Why is this so? Is that the average age of the country is 23. We are 250 million people. If the youth of this country was to be an independent country, it would have been the 9th biggest country. And they are tech savvy. And they are already living in stablecoins even before there is any regulation. They are already on-chain and they are experimenting and they want to live in the future. They don't want to live in today's financial world.
They want to be in tomorrow.
Yeah, and hence why I think, because we have a very tech-savvy youth, that is what is the driving force. And this is where the leadership wants to work and wants to create an enabling environment for them, so they should flourish, not just from a trading perspective. We want to create a global case study out of Pakistan on a few things. You see, we want to achieve a Guinness Book of World Record in bringing together a regulatory framework which is FATF compliant. Of course, making sure, as the regulator, I can't but we don't want to use that traditional mindset. We want to reinvent the wheel, and we want to show the world that you don't need to spend years trying to figure it out. And hence why we want to create a case study where we regulate this in a way, and we create this case study that everything, all the stakeholders should come into one window, and that should be the medium.
The last time you and I spoke, we spoke about a strategic Bitcoin reserve in Pakistan. How has that been going? I know it's been implemented since we spoke last. And we also talked about using excess energy for Bitcoin mining and AI data centers. Is that part of the, experiment that you're doing, this use case that you're putting together?
No. This is not a use case at all. This is the need of the hour, with AI especially. And I think Bitcoin mining is your first step to create the momentum towards the real price, which is having sovereign compute for a country where we have the third largest freelancer market in the world. They are at the risk of going out of business if we do not put in the right enabling environment and infrastructure for inference, where all of these engineers can start to build their own agentic workflow. So AI data centers are extremely important. We are en route for our first phase of Bitcoin mining. And of course, that wallet is being set up now, and we'll be announcing a lot of great news on our reserves.
You talk about sovereign compute, which is a great way to think about this. Then you talk about how big the freelance market is there. I can't help but think about the importance of stablecoins and what you guys are trying to build. So how are people utilizing stablecoins? What are you trying to work with in Pakistan in order to make sure there's an easy flow back and forth of these dollars?
See, we receive over $36 billion in remittances. Now tell me of a more beautiful use case of stablecoins where we can even save that extra 3% of somebody sending that $500 from the UAE back to a city or a village in Pakistan. So I think emerging economies are one of the greatest use cases. So of course we can do it for remittances. And then there's so many different ways. Pakistan also still has 100 million unbanked people. So we want to take this leapfrog and essentially unbank and also target the unbanked people using our stablecoin, and we want to use our own stablecoin, of course, to facilitate the entrepreneurs and the exporters of our country, so that the settlement can happen instantly.
When you say your stablecoin, is Pakistan creating its own stablecoin or CBDC?
Yes, we are working on both to experiment, but Pakistan will definitely launch its own stablecoin. I think it's a great way to also to collateralize the government debt. And we want to be at the forefront of this financial digital innovation that is happening. You know, why should we be at the tail end of it when we have the muscle and the adoption?
Well, I love your passion about this. What got you excited about crypto in the first place?
Well, it's always a friend.
We were just talking
There was a bored
about
ape,
this.
right, who came in and said,
This was back in 2016. And you know, I kind of got introduced to my first Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we used to mine some sort of Bitcoin out of my brother's university dorm room.
Was that allowed?
don't tell anyone.
Now I'm doing it. You know, we were still naive then, but I think all innovation kind of happens like this, right? And yeah, so we've been experimenting, and I think that's the whole idea of crypto, where, you know, these emerging technologies where the future of finance must now come. And it's great to see when BlackRock and JP Morgan and all of these big institutions are talking about tokenization and stable coins. It really kind of helps building the momentum in the global south, where you might not necessarily have that sort of intellectual capital and memory and adoption. So it kind of really helps with all of this.
Bilal, thanks so much for joining us at the desk. It was a pleasure seeing you again, and I'm sure we'll see you around the event.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
having
Bilal.
me. Thank you.